8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Well, I say go fuck yourself. Then ask the question, could I kill a man? I would enjoy myself. You can't disguise evil eyes that burn a hole in my head. This devil man and his master plan. We feel so misled, so I say, rise up, take it all back. Rise up, take it all back. Rise up. Hope you all understand. We got to take it all back again.
These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
What is up, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome to yet another evening catch-up. Getting closer to that 1-year anniversary every day. A little bit. Haven't decided what we're going to do on that day. I mean, obviously, we're probably going to look back at some of the old episodes. At least, like, the first few. Maybe a couple different ones of the different layouts that we had. Because we've had... It is definitely changed a lot over the years, or year, the year. As I said, it will be the last evening catch up on the 21st. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to be coming back with, if and when. I have a feeling we're going to be coming back with something. Exactly what it is and what I provide you guys, it might be different. I've been doing the evening catch up now for a year. We've tried to, get the word out that we're here. That we're doing this to spread the message to everybody out there that, likes this kind of content and stuff like that. And You know, we've met a lot of great people here. I'll tell you that much. If I kept on doing the evening catch up, would it become something? I don't know. I really don't. It's me reading the news, and I'm not a very good reader. I'm not a very good speaker, to be honest. I mess up a lot of words, and it's something that I personally don't like about myself. It's like one of those things that, you know how everybody doesn't like their own voice. Like everybody doesn't like their own voice, right? I mean, I guess there's probably some conceited people out there that love their own voice. At least it seems like they do, because all they do is talk, 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 talk. But for me, it's one of my pet peeves about myself that if I could change would be finding words. And this last year, I have definitely improved over that. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that alone was worth doing the reading the news for a year. As far as what we're going to do post evening catch up, I'm not exactly sure. I've been toying around with a few ideas, but nothing so far has sounded like, yes, that's it. That's the thing. I have thought about doing more of the Bible chats instead of just one a week, maybe multiples. Not like every day, but, you know, more than one a week. I'm thinking about that. I think that's a good thing that I do, that I really enjoy doing as well. And even though it's not reaching a huge audience, it's one of those things that, you know what, I feel good by doing it. I don't know. We might do a marijuana growing channel. Maybe. That's a thought. Me and Riddle have discussed how much money we're spending on legalized pot here in Arizona. And let me tell you, I think I should start growing my own. Because, damn, we could be paying for a car payment right now. And I don't even think we smoke that much. I mean, we smoke more now. Obviously. We didn't really smoke at all before because, you know, we don't have a dealer. So I could either get a dealer. We have a way we could probably find one. We have some neighbors that we're pretty sure that they would know who to contact. But to grow it ourselves might be nice. And then Riddle Girl was already finding things for making edibles, which might be fun. And side hustle, right? I could side hustle that. Ooh, I didn't even think about the side hustle. I didn't even think about that. I wonder if I'd get in trouble for that. I'm sure I probably would. Whatever. People have been getting in trouble for that forever. Live free. That's what I say. Take the guns first. It's always what they want to do, huh, Riddle Girl? Broken Patriot's in the house. Hey, Broken Patriot. By the way, if you missed yesterday's chat, because I don't think you were in there, or if you were, I don't know exactly when you were. But I got you. I got you. You got a rebate from the healthcare. $370 from 2018. $370. What are you going to do with all that money, Mr. Tommy Boy 9? $370? Can you buy like 10 ounces of silver now, I think? Maybe, yeah. If you bought it really expensive with a high premium, I'm sure you could. I haven't checked on silver or gold in a while because I've been spending my money everywhere else. One thing I've been spending my money on recently, well, we went to the Desert Botanical Garden here in Arizona, which was more interesting than I thought it would be. I was like, oh, this is going to be boring as all hell. But that's what Riddle Girl and our neighbor Joyce wanted to do, so we did it, and I enjoyed it. It was a lot of walking, but I'm able to do that now, so that was cool. Silver and gold prices, though. Let's check that out. Where did I have that? There we go. 1 second, everybody. My apologies for this dead air. $27.57 for silver. It's still up there. That is still pretty up there. So that's $270 for 10 ounces if you were able to get it at spot. Most likely you won't. Most likely you're getting it at probably about $31. I'd say $31 an ounce. So that would be $310 for 10 ounces. That's not bad. I need to pick up more silver. It's been a while, and that's something I enjoy doing. Especially, I thought about doing a silver channel. The only thing is most people who do silver channels or gold or any kind of, bullion, don't put their face on it because they don't want to be recognized, so that, you know, people follow them home and steal their shit. I get it. And I don't really have a collection, right? I have a little ammo can full of, well, not even that full anymore, because I traded in a lot of gold for silver back in the day. In fact, I wonder what the gold to silver ratio is right now, because it's 18.33 an ounce for gold. And I did pretty good on that ratio. It was like 61%, I think. I don't know. More brass? More brass is always nice. Wednesday and Friday for Bible chats. Yeah, maybe. Hey, everybody. Yes, you should. Quantum Lotus. Really? You think Quantum Lotus? You think I should do Bible chats more often? Sounds good. Hey, RG. Yeah, gross. Or are you talking about the weed? Sounds good. Grow some Blue Dream, please. Ooh. Yeah, I think you were talking about the weed. So here's the thing. If we do it, we got to do it hydroponically. I have a lot of the stuff I need for hydroponics. I have the grow lights. I've done hydroponics, not horribly successfully. I have grown things that have looked like they mutated, especially the bok choy. The bok choy was something weird, but I mean, the contraption is nice. I think what that was we just didn't have the right mixture of nutrients. I would imagine there's plenty of people out there that know the exact mix for nutrients that I would need and all the things that I need to do. I have that already set up with the water pump, with the pipes, with the I already have nutrients, but I mean, if I need to get other ones, that's not a big deal. I have a pH testing strips, you know, so that I can do. I have some knowledge behind growing my own. Now, will YouTube allow it? YouTube is a very... I think they might. I think they actually might allow it. Sup, RG and Sting. What's up, Mule Team? How you doing? What do you think about a pot growing channel? We're going to rebrand. Every day, maybe I can have, and I can do this. Maybe I can just run a live feed of my grow system. All right, with the fan and all that blowing on the leaves. I do need to learn how to sex plants because I haven't done that yet. I do have ghost peppers plants outside in the garden that are looking great, but they never produce any peppers because I believe they're the same sex. I have no idea how to figure that out. All my plants that I've ever successfully planted were asexual, which I appreciate more. So, but I need to figure that out. Bible chat is cool though too. Invest in crypto now, says Riddle. Yeah, not even joking. Yeah, Doge. Get some Dogecoin. Just we put a little bit into it because we were hesitant about that as well. But I'll tell you what, we've made quite a bit in Doge. Not anything to retire on, but you know, at least a few $100s out of it. So we're just, you know, putting a little bit of our money into that. By all means, be careful what you put your money into because there's a lot of ways to lose it. Do you guys think the Bible is an acronym? Some religious say that. Acronym? Riddle, what's an acronym again?
So like
okay.
AWOL.
AWOL. Okay, I got you. I don't know. No, I take Quantum Lotus. For me, I take it absolutely literally. 100%. Yeah, I do know that there's some things in there that like a prophetic year versus an actual year. There's some debate on that. If I take it all for gospel and it's all true and it ends up being a little different than that when my time comes, who gives a crap? For me, it's not about knowing exactly what is and what is not true in the Bible. For me, it's all about getting that relationship with Jesus. He wants to be my friend. That's the whole series that we watched on the Bible chats with It's All About Jesus. And that's what I want to do. Because I do believe that he wants to be our friend and that we are his children and he is trying to get us to come home. That's how I believe. If I'm wrong on a few, like Noah's Ark wasn't really a boat, or, you know, really there was no way to get two animals of each kind. That's semantics. I don't care. I will believe it full-heartedly, and if later on I am proven to be wrong, okay. I care about that much, right? At that point. And if I'm wrong that there is no afterlife, I will never know. And what's the worst that can happen? I try to be a decent person to people. Okay. That's the worst. But if I don't do what I think I need to do, or have that relationship, then what's the worst that can happen? Well, I those are the things that I wrestled with a long time ago. Believers' instructions before leaving Earth. Oh, okay. Yeah. I agree about life's teaching of Jesus and his apostles. There you go. We won't get too much into that right now, but that's it. That is one thing I'm thinking about. I lost another friend over on the Patriot Bible chat. I forget his name. Or another subscriber. It was a while ago. It was a few months ago, I think, where we were getting a discussion about marijuana and the Bible, and how also we were getting in the discussion about communion, right? And how the Seventh-day Adventists do communion. We eat, the little, well, it's not really a wafer. It's more like a cracker for us, like a graham cracker kind of thing. Grape juice, because alcohol is bad. And then we wash each other's feet, right? So that, and I got on this topic because it's kind of weird. A lot of religions don't wash each other's feet. And I was explaining why the Seventh-day Adventists do that, and it's a sign of humility. I mean, Jesus, if you believe in Jesus is our Lord and Savior and a figure of the three-person Godhead, then God came down and got on his knees and washed the dirty-ass feet of his disciples and said, do this in remembrance of me. So if I can't lower myself down and get on my knees and wash some person's dirty-ass feet, then I'm thinking I'm better than Jesus. And the same thing with accepting somebody else washing your feet, right? A lot of people are like, oh, I don't have great feet, and I feel weird about my feet, and I'm ticklish, all the excuses. But you're taking away, in that instance, in this situation anyway, you're taking away somebody else's ability to have that humblingness before God. There you go. Anyway, yeah, see? I don't want anyone touching my feet. There you go. Prime example. Broken Patriot. Believe me, it's not a scrub. They're not going in there and getting under the toes and getting that brush, where it gets under the toenails and shit. They're not doing that. It's literally just kind of like dripping some water. You put your foot in a bowl of water, and you put a little bit of water on top of it and rub like on top of the foot, and then dry it off. And that's we call that good. As far as deep cleaning, no, I don't think so. I'd wash your feet any day. I washed little old lady feet. Yeah, Riddle Girl had a hard time with washing feet when we first started going to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. But she came around. Anyway, we're getting on to a religious topic, which, it's fine and all that, but we are still doing the evening catch-up at least until the 21st. And I had already gotten the stories that I had decided to do. And I was like, oh, I got a little bit of time. Let's go to YouTube, see what's going on in YouTube land. And I found this thing on Fox News. It's like 7 minutes. It's Rand Paul talking about what happened with Dr. Fauci. So I'm guessing that happened today. You're ticklish as hell. I am too. Funny story about that. Fuck the YouTube. Yeah, I know. Funny story about that. Riddle Girl likes to get manicures and pedicures once in a while. However, since my daughter no longer lives here, she doesn't have anybody to go with. Now she has Joyce, I guess. Joyce had never had what did you guys do? A manicure or pedicure? Yeah. So she took Joyce once. But before we were with Joyce, I decided I wanted her to have a pedicure, right? Well, she doesn't want to go alone. It's an experience. It's something you do with your girls. Well, I volunteered and I did that. And I'll tell you what, the ladies there at the nail salon or whatever, had a great time that day. Laughed so hard. Like they couldn't even see what they were doing. They were laughing that hard. Oh, that's probably bad. Whatever. Oh man, BP, I gotta take you for your pedicure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Manicure with Joyce. Oh, it was a manicure. Okay, great. Yeah, I don't think Joyce wants to do a pedicure either. She's also worried about her feet ticklishness and stuff like that. Sometimes, guys, sometimes you just gotta do it. Did it tickle? Yes. Like the worst thing ever. I squirmed so bad, I almost took a bath in the water where my feet were with my butt. That's how much I was squirming. It was everything I could do not to kick this little lady. But I managed not to, and I took it like a man, and I would do it again. I wouldn't enjoy it. I mean, eventually maybe I would, but, it would still suck for quite a while. All right. But try new things. Try new things. I have been, this last year, I'll tell you what, before we get into this last year has been something else for me. I mean, I guess this is the year of Stinger. Or maybe it started in August when I got my surgery. Let's say it started, well, I mean, a year ago is when I was in a really dark place. Well, more than a year ago. Because it was before the morning muster. The morning muster got me out of a dark place. I wasn't doing too well. Mentally. Wasn't doing anything on YouTube. Didn't have anything going on. It was just getting through another day. Just getting through another day. Why? What am I doing? Where am I going? I don't know. Getting through another day. Almost like, I could write, I could make a tally. Like, okay, another day gone. Almost like if I was in prison. All right? Another day. Living paycheck to paycheck. Although we were actually doing a little bit better financially then. But, it was bad. And then out of nowhere, Irish had contacted me and said, hey, I'm going to be doing this morning show. And I was wanting to know if you want to come on here with me. And I was like, fuck yeah, bro. I'll do that. And that gave me something to look forward to every morning. I had to go to bed somewhat early, which would probably help me again because I've been staying up super late. So I had to go to bed early so that I could get up and do the morning muster with my good friend. And boy, I tell you what, I looked forward to that. I miss it so much. To be able to hang out and just chat for an hour with a good friend like that. Yeah, so I miss that. But it definitely helped me out. And then when he started, not being able to be there every day or for whatever, I mean, he got real shit he got to deal with. So I'm not complaining. I'm explaining. It kind of stunk, right? So I was like, well, I kind of still want to do this. I'm still having a great time. I don't want to go back to the way I was. And so I decided to start up the evening catch-up. And I'm glad I did. I am glad I did. I do need to refigure out what I'm doing forward. But we will. We will not be not on. We're going to be on. I just don't know how yet. And I'm very tempted about the marijuana thing because if YouTube allows it, we might get remonetized. All right, let's watch this.
Dr. Fauci, do you still support funding of the NIH funding of the lab in Wuhan?
The NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute. We have not funded gain-of-function research on this. I will repeat again. The NIH and NIAID categorically has not funded gain-of-function research. I just wanted to say, I don't know how many times I can say it.
Well, maybe one more. How many times can he say it? Dr. Fauci being very careful with his words with Senator Rand Paul today. Fauci says the NIH and the NIAID never directly funded gain-of-function research at the Institute, the Wuhan Institute of Virology. But like we said, before that's true, but it's also misleading. You see, the NIH, headed by Dr. Fauci, sent $3.7 million to a nonprofit called Echo Health Alliance, which then turned around and sent $600,000 from that grant to the Wuhan lab. I hope you're following that. Take your time, play this back. Dr. Fauci's favorite sparring partner joins us now, Senator Rand Paul. Senator Rand Paul, you feel as though, using some of the things I just said, that Dr. Fauci was being deceptive today. In what way?
Well, I think it's incredibly important that the audience know what gain of function is. They take an animal virus that's benign and does not infect humans, and they juice it up, they make it a super virus so it can infect humans. Now, ostensibly, this is done to study the virus, but there's a danger if that virus leaks that it could kill a lot of people. So when I asked him about this research, we knew the answer. The answer is this, that there's a famous scientist in the Wuhan lab. Her name is Dr. Shi, and she published a paper a couple years ago, which has been reviewed by MIT and says that it's a gain of function research. But in the byline, she has to list the sponsors. She lists Dr. Fauci and the NIAID as a sponsor of her research, which everybody acknowledges gain of function research, juicing up these super viruses. So I don't know how he can get around this. He could argue, oh, it was an intermediary group. We gave it to EcoHealth who gave her the money. I can't imagine he's on national television saying that he didn't do this when the peer-reviewed journal has a byline that says the author, this Batwoman, this scientist from the Wuhan Institute.
If you said you didn't do something that they had proof of you doing, you would be found guilty of perjury.
This is a dangerous act.
Fauci's not going to get found guilty of nothing.
The next one, so I got to see what happens.
Rules for thee, not for me.
Viruses. But other people say it's too dangerous. If this gets out, it's going to be devastating. Somehow it could have gotten out. Is that what you're saying, Senator?
I don't think we know for sure, but yes, it could have gotten out. And there are a lot of people arguing that there are several different unusual aspects to the virus that make it look like it came from a lab and not from nature. They haven't found an intermediate host. They haven't found anything between the bat and the human. Both SARS and MERS went to an intermediate host like a ferret or a civet. But the other thing that's peculiar about this is that when we look at this and we say, you know, did it come directly? The way they're studying this in the lab, they studied the SARS virus. This is the one like COVID that came around in 2004, but had a 15% mortality. So they juiced up this already deadly virus and made it more infective into humans in the lab. They've admitted that they did that. But can you imagine 15% mortality?
Thank you, Mr. Tommy Boy, for the lemon.
Has a 1%
Thank you, Quantum Lotus, for the 7
that
lemons.
Means instead of 3 million people dying worldwide,
I got it, too.
if one of the viruses that she worked on with NIH money got out, 45 million people could have died. There are 11 labs like this in the U.S. that are studying animal viruses that they're transforming into deadly human viruses. 11 labs like this in the United States.
So what is important for people to understand is that forgetting about Dr. Fauci and his future, or your political future, this is about understanding how this started to stop the next virus. If we don't understand how this started, we're going to get slammed again and we're going to be ill-equipped once again. I don't understand the lack of curiosity from Dr. Fauci. This is his business. Why is that not his obsession rather than being on 25 talk shows a day?
If you want to be even more confounded by this, they wanted to investigate what happened over there. The person they investigated is the head of EcoHealth. So they hired the person to investigate whether there was a problem at the lab. They hired the guy that gave them the money. So if something came out that said this virus came from the lab, do you think the person that gave them the money might have culpability? So they hired the guy to do the investigation who has a conflict of interest here. So you start to wonder, all of these wagons are circling. The Chinese communists aren't talking. We gave them the money. I mean, there's a lot of potential problems here. But once again, I'm not saying it did come from the lab. I don't know. But there's a lot of evidence that makes me worried about this lab, and the fact that people are not being honest, the fact that Dr. Fauci would lie and say that he didn't give any money to this lab. Now, maybe his answer is like you said, he gave it to an intermediary who gave it to them. But if that's his answer, I would think that's a kind of a curious way of saying it didn't happen when it really did happen.
And I got to leave it here. 4 months into the coronavirus emergency, the deputy director of the NIH wrote an email to EcoHealth. And they said, quote, "You were instructed to cease providing any funds to the Wuhan Institute." Peter Danzig is the chief scientist there. He quickly got 77 Nobel Prize winners to sign a statement saying not to deprive them of their money. What's the desperation to get Western money into an area where we know the virus came from some way, somehow?
But here's the other interesting thing. If Fauci's deputy is
Congratulations,
writing a note
Quantum.
saying that they're going to stop the money, that implies that there was money flowing to the Wuhan Institute. He says no money was flowing to the Wuhan Institute. Well, then why was it
Hey,
stopped?
Anonymous.
I mean, none of this makes sense. None of it makes sense at all.
And I just wonder.
It makes
when
plenty
the
of sense.
Democrats, and I hear
Follow
Senator
the
Menendez
money.
and others are beginning to mobilize to understand that this is national security, and we got to find out. It would be the
Absolutely.
biggest liability case in the history of man, and China would be at the forefront, and maybe some others. Senator Rand Paul, thanks for asking the tough questions.
Interesting
especially
time we
over the
live
last
in.
year, and especially today, as it has to do with the science. I know you got 20 million things to do. I appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thanks.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe.
No, I don't want to click you. In fact, I want you to go away. Thank you, Brian. I hate Fox News, but that was very educational, and I kind of like Rand Paul. I like Ron Paul better, but Rand Paul's, like Rand Paul light. Okay, yeah, click rewards, D-livers. When I remember that, I always like to do that. I will, since you guys are on D-Live and we got at least two people, Mr. Tommy Boy and Quantum Lotus, and I know Irish likes to go over there too, and we've had a few people over on D-Live follow me over there, so I will try to remember to do that for the last 2 weeks, and when we do something else, because I might as well continue to stream it to D-Live too. That will come into question though if D-Live will also allow that. I'm very curious about that. Oh, and also on the pot situation, anybody in here big time like grow? Well, I don't see Gerald B. Is Gerald B in here? Gerald B. Well, I'm kind of curious, like, how many plants does one person need? I don't want to have too many, because then I will have to have a second business. And I don't want to get in trouble if I can help it. All right, you knew of that in February of 2020. Wow, that was when it first broke. I have a friend stuck in Atlanta. There is no gas for them to drive back home after the Atlanta Braves game. I did hear something about a gas shortage. I don't know if I have anything about that right now. Riddle, if you could find out about a gas shortage for me, especially in the Atlanta area, let me know.
Oh, I sent you one on the gas shortage.
Okay, well, maybe that's one of them. I only have two. I have the one about the Capitol event and the FBI seizing people's stuff out of their safe deposit.
Sent you three. The other one was about the gas shortage.
Well, send me another one and put it in Discord, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, Quantum Lotus. Let's see. Why are they always so far behind Epstein, Wuhan, Lab, Hunter, Biden? Well, because they don't want to do anything about it. And if it wasn't for some decent news people, journalists, then you'd never know it. Because it's not like they don't try to cover that up. You know how hard YouTube, Facebook, and all those places tried to cover up actual facts of other things about the sniffles? How many doctors do you know that got silenced on all the major social medias because they didn't agree? They had good points. They were educated people. And that was more threatening to them than somebody missing their teeth being a hillbilly saying, I ain't gonna get no shot. Only shot I'm gonna do is tequila. They'll leave those people alone. Why? Because they make themselves look like an idiot. But you get a doctor to come on who's medically trained, has credentials, and says, I don't think that mask is going to do what you think it's going to do. Well, guess what? You've been banned for medical misinformation. And I, personally, YouTube, would never do that. I have learned my lesson. I apologize. And my phone is going nuts because I forgot to turn it off. Yes, a bunch of cowards, these so-called news channels. What's up, HDP? How you doing? Always like it when HDP is in the house. D-Live is getting more viewers. Yeah, D-Live is doing well. I ain't gonna lie, D-Live is doing well, especially when you hand out lemons. I'm only gonna do it once, and that's if I remember. A lot of banned peeps from YouTube. Yeah, the great thing about D-Live is I haven't had any issues with D-Live as far as strikes. Every time I get a strike here on YouTube, nothing from D-Live. D-Live's fine with it. Not a problem. I can talk about Kyle. You know the Kyle that I'm talking about. I can talk about him all the time. I could probably even show video of him putting out fires. I can't do that here on YouTube. I'll get a strike and my video removed for showing a person in a positive light that is not even found guilty yet. Strange. Certainly has gotten more views. We will work for weed. First started streaming the D Live, there was no one. Then Jupiter 5, and then there it grew. It did grow. It comes and goes. Today it's doing really well. At least if my numbers are correct, I got 5 on YouTube and 4 on D Live. So right now it's popping. So hello all my D Live viewers. Let's do a fair and balance and do the left wing story on it. Ooh, nice. I like that. I will do a left wing bias station. Gas stations closing. Meanwhile, I'll have oil wells capped in secret locations. My friend said that they were capped. Why are they secret locations? Funny how the things that don't get investigated always lean left. Hunter, Wuhan, Hillary's emails, child services under Obama caught smuggling kids. And here's the thing, Anonymous. Someday, and I don't know if it's going to be in this lifetime or the next, if you believe in that. Someday, one way or the other, some people are going to have to pay. If I'm wrong and there is no next tier of life, then there's a lot of people going to get away with a lot of shit. If there is, they're all going to get their own. Don't worry about it. It's already taken care of. You don't have to concern yourself with that. And that's hard for me because there's a part of me, there is a big part of me that says, I would love to watch Nancy Pelosi squirm. You know what I mean? But that's bad. You're not supposed to do that. So that's a struggle that I have on the daily. But other than that, I see Americans getting ready. And let's see, where is it? Yeah, this is one story about it. Capped with Biden admin, got it? If you don't like CNN, here's the hill. No, that's CNN's fine. Biden was Me Too, nothing about it. Yep. Yeah, he was during the campaign even. Absolutely anonymous. Please support platforms like D-Live. D-Live is not necessarily the only one out there. A friend of mine on Twitch that I stream with sometimes was telling me about there was another site that does it's like D-Live, but it also is pretty lax on the rules and stuff like that. I forget what it is. I'd have to talk to him. Yeah, I'm afraid it's more complicated and dangerous than that, but more are aware and demand justice. It can happen. Yeah. There comes a tipping point where people are like, you know what? Screw this. That is enough. You guys swore to uphold the Constitution and you're not doing it, and we're done. We're absolutely done. There is going to be a tipping point someday, maybe. Either that or we're all going to get put in a tyrannical world or, in more tyranny. You better we already are. We already are. But you better get used to your chains because they're only going to get tighter and heavier. Bearing arms. There has been a gun sales surge ever since the early days of the pandemic. From the moment we knew it was coming to our shores, people started buying guns. The buying hasn't stopped either. This has been good news for the firearm industry. However, anti-gunners have been freaking out about this for some time now. I think I just figured out what my contest is going to be for. That freak out isn't slowing down. Apparently, the news outlets proclaiming that gun sales and mental health crisis are seen as risk factors in school shootings. Students in many U.S. states are just returning to the classroom after months of remote learning due to the sniffle pandemic, but the move back has come with an unfortunate uptick in gun violence. The incidents, we already know why there's gun violence at schools. The incidents are reported by local media, but they do not make national headlines. Only a deadly shooting spree like the one at Majority Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida in February of 2018, which left 17 dead, supposedly, sparked a shockwave. No other high-income country here's the problem with talking. No other high-income country experiences or tolerates consistent school shootings, tweeted Shannon Watts, the founder of the Moms Demand Action movement against gun violence. I'm going to put this one right there. Except at least one of these incidents involved the theft of a military rifle. The others mentioned were from firearms likely stolen from their parents. The author tries to make a point that mental health issues stemming from sniffles 19 and the gun sales surge create a dangerous environment. However, they fail to show their work. See, while the gun sales are increasing, they fail to show that any of these incidences were newly purchased firearms. The gun sales surge exists, but where are any of these firearms purchased as part of the surge? Further, even if they were the sales of these guns isn't the issue and never has been because they were purchased lawfully by someone who still hasn't broken the law. They're the victims, really, because their guns were taken away and then misused, or they were taken and misused. People are consistently going on and on about how we have too many guns. But then they say they don't want to take our guns. They fail to address guns in criminal hands, but instead focus on those firearms being sold lawfully. And you know what else? They also usually don't like the police officers very much and don't think that police officers should have guns because they kill too many black folk. Well, here's the thing. You want the police to have guns, but you don't want the police to have guns. So the good guy's not going to have gun. The police, notice I didn't call the police the good guy. The police aren't going to have guns. So who's going to have the guns? Well, I'm going to have the guns. And so is anybody who's freedom loving minded. But also the criminals. Criminals aren't going to give their shit up. They're fucking criminals. That's what they do. I seen y'all chatting me up. So let me read this. But the more are aware and demand justice, it can happen. What's up, Gerald B? I was just talking about you. Gerald B. You're a pot smoker. How many plants do you think is good? Producing plants. And I'm guessing that you can't. I don't know. I need to know more about it. I hope you join my Discord if you haven't already and go in there. I'm thinking about starting up a channel just on growing. And I'm going to need some help on that. So you are my resident pothead. I might have to hit you up and have a conversation. We need to do a constitution for the internet. D-Live. Thumb up. Yeah. I've been seeing more and more folks in unnatural colors of hair carrying firearms. I'm actually happy to see it. I am too. A lot of people in our community hated it when the not fucking around anymore clan became a thing. Now, this is my shorty bullpup. Okay, this is before he did that dumbass shit, right? And everybody was like, oh, can you imagine? It's a whole bunch of Black Panthers all armed with firearms. Oh my goodness, they're not fucking around anymore. Aren't you scared? No, man, applaud it. Fucking applaud it. Nice to fucking see some people of color standing up for their shit and getting firearms and getting organized. Yes, I don't agree with their message, but I agree with the fact that they should have their right to do it. The same thing with any other hate group out there. I do not agree with hate group. YouTube, I do not agree with any hate group out there. However, I do believe that you can't change somebody's thoughts no matter how much you demonetize or suppress their content. And the only thing you accomplish by doing that is pushing them underground and making more people seek that shit. Meanwhile, the best way to get rid of these kind of people is shine light on them. Let the people in the ghost costumes march down Main Street. Let's all point and laugh at them with their little group of 5. Most of them fucking inbred. With their stupid ideas. Let's look at that. Let's have that conversation. But unfortunately, we can't even have that conversation anymore because we're too much of a snowflake to be able to handle that somehow. Oh, that's a delicate situation. Mental health and guns. No, it's not. Everybody has the right to own a firearm. Prove me wrong. Change my mind. Should I do a change my mind? Everybody who is not currently in prison right fucking now should have a firearm. Change my mind. If they want one, obviously. I'm not going to force anybody to have one. But if they want one, anybody, and I mean anybody, including somebody with Down syndrome, including somebody with Parkinson's. I know, saying that, right? You know, like, scary shit. I get it. But at the same time, everybody's in control of their own life. Yes, people are going to do some stupid shit. But that's the dangerous freedom that we talk about versus the peaceful slavery. Who gets to choose who has a mental issue and who doesn't? And what determines if you have a right to own a firearm? That wasn't in the Constitution. It said the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Not if you're over 18, not if you're over 13, not if you're not a felon. Shit, they didn't have felons. Oh, they might have had felons back. I don't think they had felons back then. They even said no free man shall be barred the use of arms. So if you've gone to jail for whatever, how about child pornography, raping of a little kid with a firearm? Maybe you shot the kid in the face afterwards. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I'm all for executing that person, okay, at that point, right? I'm for executing that person. However, if you let him out, if our legal system would allow him to see the light of day from prison again as a free man, then no free man shall be barred the use of arms. At that point, it's a conversation of prison sentences, not of if he should have a firearm or not. You can't regulate or legally make people moral people. The only thing that some people will be moral because they don't want to go to jail. Some people are moral because they believe in a higher power. Some people are moral for other reasons that aren't listed. I talked to an atheist who said he's got his morals somewhere. I'm like, well, where'd you get your morals? Because your morals seem like they're founded in Judeo-Christian belief. Well, I don't believe. Okay, then why don't you do this, and this? Because I have morals. Well, where'd you get your morals? So it's either you don't want to go to jail, in my opinion, or that. Anyway, I got off on a tangent. Unnatural hair color doesn't necessarily mean they have a mental health issue. I've dabbed in pink in the past. Yeah. Rick Netherly. What's up, Rick? Once again, CRS is still pumping your shit. Very cool. I need to make a t-shirt. Anybody want to come up with some designs? I'll give you credit. I listened to this subject on the way home from work. I honestly don't think that it's a coincidence that the virus emerged just as the impeachment proceedings failed to remove President Trump from office. I agree with you. I think it was very convenient. Very convenient. And it's kind of funny that as soon as Trump got out of office, oh, look, everything's starting to get better now. Very convenient. You also wear rainbow colors and love unicorns. Yep. Also, don't think it's a coincidence that the vaccine shipped out the day Creepy Joe was confirmed as fake president. Ooh, better be careful. YouTube has been censoring people for their comments lately, so be careful with that. My favorite and only female subscriber. Yeah, Riddle Girl. Oh, well, confirmed. You're only confirmed. There might be others that aren't confirmed. Better stay favorite unless your wife subscribes. All right, you guys blowing me up. I'm gonna have to go through these quick. Wife just said she's gonna have a gun. Your wife? I'm surprised she's just saying that. Yes, ma'am, definitely. Right, PS. Depends on how much pot you want. LOL. I normally grow 12 plants. Gives me around 5 pounds of pot, but I'm start them inside and move them out. I can't grow outside. I live in the city. I live in a very populated city and right next to a school. Hey kids, what are we growing in the garden today? No, I don't think that's going to happen. Most are federal informants. Yeah. A lot of yeah, that's a lot. Let's see. AttitudeSeedBank.com is a good place for the firm seeds. If you're growing inside, get the auto flower seeds 90 to 96 days from start to finish. All right, Riddle, I hope you're writing this shit down. Lights on a 12-hour timer. Got that. I got the timer. I got the lights. I'm ready to go. I probably have to work on my containers a little bit, but I have quite a few of those. Click on the American flag. Okay. All right, cool. Speaking of gun rights in other countries, did you know that you were allowed to have a firearm in Russia? I didn't know that, but Putin orders new gun control regulations after a school shooting that killed 8. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday ordered a Russian Federal Service of National Guard troops to... National Guard troops? Really? You copying us? To start working on new gun regulations following a school shooting that left at least 8 people dead, according to the Kremlin. Driving the news, a gunman on Tuesday morning attacked a school in the city of Kazan and killed 7 students and 1 teacher while leaving 21 other people hospitalized. The suspect was 19 years old, and the firearm used was registered in his name, said the Rustam Menekhov, governor of... It is not yet known what type of firearm was used. Well, I doubt that they have, like assault weapons. But I could be wrong. While school shootings are relatively rare in Russia, there have been several violent attacks on schools in recent years, mostly carried out by students. The bigger picture, the new gun regulations will be focused on the types of firearms that are available for civilian use. Applicants for a firearm license must pass psychological exams and own a smoothbore shotgun for a trial period before obtaining a rifle. Let's see if you don't kill yourself with this thing before we give you something even deadlier. I get you. Putin also expressed his condolences to the families of the victims and wished a speedy recovery to those who were injured. He directed government officials to provide medical psychological assistance to the victims. The Russian Emergency Ministry sent an airplane with doctors and medical equipment to Kazan. All right. Well, there you go. That's that story. I didn't know you could have a gun in Russia. Well, if the people want to take over the Russian government, that's a huge place. I don't know. I wonder what the population is in Russia. But apparently they like it enough. Blue Dream is good. About any of the autoflower is good. You can find the Iranian OG. That's really good as well. Sweet. Gerald, are you in my Discord? If you're not, you should be. I know it's another thing you got to sign up for, but it's really, you won't regret it. You're going to find a whole bunch of other channels to subscribe to, and you're going to get all sorts of groups out there, and you're going to go down the rabbit hole. I almost guarantee it. And yes, I still want to make that shirt. I almost guarantee it. Oh, the peaceful protests on the 6th in Washington. Here's a news article about that. What's up, Daniel Oldfield? How are you doing? How did those coins go? We never heard from you on that. I am very curious. Did you ever look into Bob over there with the coin dealer place and stuff like that? I'm very interested in that. Let me know. Also, check out my Discord. Or, you have my phone number. You could text me or call me. Or I could text you probably. I have your phone number probably too. Anyway, two peaceful protesters have pled guilty for their role in the Capitol event that happened on the 6th. So far, this table will track them all. More than 450 people have been charged with federal crimes linked to the U.S. Capitol event. Months after January 6th, only 2 of the attempted peaceful protesters had pled guilty so far. The FBI, I'm glad there's only 2. 450 people, 2 have pled guilty. The FBI is still attempting to identify people from the Capitol. We'll keep this list updated, and then there we go. More than 450 people have been charged with federal crimes since the supporters of then President Trump stormed the U.S. Capitol on the 6th in an attempt to stop Congress. This is bullshit. To go in there and say, hey, this is my house. I paid for it with my tax dollars. It's the people's house. Over 4 months later, only 2 people had pled guilty in court. John Schaffer, the guitarist and founder of the metal band Iced Earth, was the first person to file a guilty plea and agree to cooperate with the prosecutors, according to the DOJ filings. Schaefer is also a member of the Oath Keepers militia, who court records reveal planned and practiced their movement on the Capitol weeks in advance. Well, I would hope you would. However, I believe it was a story. It was, I'm thinking of the wrong group. I think it was the Proud Boys that had the person that was a snitch in it. Oath Keepers. No better. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see what he's trying to get out of that. This table includes the names, accepted charges, and links to court documents of all the people who have pled guilty so far. We'll keep it updated if more changes. So, we have Jared Adams accepted the charges of entering and remaining in a restricted building. That building you paid for with your tax dollars. Why is it restricted? It's your place. It's not theirs. They work for us. They are our servants. Unfortunately, the servants think the other way, that we serve them, and that is not the case. It is my opinion that we should let them know who serves who. Don't know if we ever will. Disorderly and disruptive content in a restrictive building. Violent entry and disorderly conduct in a Capitol building. Parading, demonstrating, or picketing in a Capitol building. All things that I believe is protected under the First Amendment. I forget. Is it in the Constitution that says that you need to have a permit before you can address your grievances with your government? Or does it just say a peaceful protest to address your grievances with your government? Which picketing, peaceful. Demonstrating, peaceful, as long as you're not doing anything wrong. Parading, peaceful. In a Capitol building, one that you paid for with your own money, peaceful. I believe all that's covered in the first. Okay, John Schaefer, obstruction of an official proceeding, entering and remaining in a restricted building or grounds with a deadly or dangerous weapon. What did he have in his hand? Did he have bear spray? Attorney General Merrick Garland told members of the Senate during his confirmation hearing that he planned to personally oversee the Justice Department handling of these people. I will supervise the prosecution of these horrible people of non-color and others who stormed on the Capitol on the 6th. A heinous attack that sought to disrupt a cornerstone of our democracy. We're not a democracy, we're a republic. The peaceful transfer of power to a newly elected government, Garland said. It is unclear how lenient Garland and the DOJ will be on the guilty pleas, as the two men so far have yet to be sentenced. The FBI is still seeking the public's help to identify people who took part in one of the most documented crimes in U.S. history. Yeah, rat your friends out, rat your family out. A lot of people have been ratted out. We had done a story about these 450 people that are charged right now. Most of them have been ratted out by their own family. There you go. I'll keep you up to date. I'm still working on a bigger parts of the estate. The coins will be the last thing. Oh, okay. Yeah, please hit me up, man. Especially if you have some stuff that you want to go to somebody who is actually going to give a shit about it. They might. Bob is a great guy. Bob is an absolute wonderful guy. He's going to try to get some, a little under spot. And I sure as hell can't afford probably much. But if there is anything left that you want to sell me, I will pay spot or above spot or whatever you think is fair on it. I'm looking to always get a little extra silver, and having a little silver from somebody who I consider a dear friend of mine. Obviously, you didn't collect it, but your father did, so it's part of you. Yeah, that would be really awesome, especially since we're looking at moving out of Arizona. But thank you for keeping me up to date. That Quisha guy, they're going to hold him and try to make an example of him because he was so visible, and I highly doubt Quisha is going to take any plea deals. Yeah, you're talking about the guy with the horns? Yeah. I know Twitter snitch and MK hangs out with them that Cassandra rules derp. I missed that comment. I have no idea. Right, it's the people's house. It is the people's house. That dude was not trying to hurt anyone. I agree. The free the shaman, yeah. I would love to see him freed, but he is the face of it because he's ridiculous. And I knew that before that whole thing ever happened. If you don't know about the guy with the horns that stormed the Capitol on the 6th, he is from Arizona. And he goes to a lot of events here in Arizona. And he is, I believe, last time I checked, still in prison, awaiting trial. And I imagine they're going to throw the book at him because he's out there and he is the face of it because of his ridiculousness. Yeah, I'm almost there, though. All right, on. None of the Proud Boys went to the Capitol. Wow, that's surprising. Set people up, good people. I told everybody, and y'all know, nobody watched. Nobody. Here's the thing. I'm not going to do that thing because I just did. But I caught myself. A lot of people will be like, I told everybody, you better watch out for this. You know, I said it a long time ago. It's not on me. Fuck. I told you all, and maybe a couple other people at the time, that if you're going to go to one of these events, I think Dharma Archangel might have been there. If you're going to go to one of these events, mask up, wear a hat, wear sunglasses, do not drive your own vehicle, do not use your credit card, only use cash. Right? Going through all those steps. And maybe, just maybe, you might not get busted. And remember, here in Arizona on the 6th, I went to an event here in the Capitol, and I went geared up, absolutely geared up, with my mask on, with my glasses on, with my hat on. I had people there, Trump supporters there, bought all the Trump merchandise, asking me if I believed in the Wuhan flu. And I said, no, I don't think the mask is going to protect me for that. And he said, well, then you're no better than this Antifa. You're just as bad as Antifa. Fucking FUD. And I told him then too. You, sir, have been on camera everywhere. Enjoy your fucking visit from whatever 3-letter agency is going to come knocking on your door. I'm not doing that. Now, of course, I just admitted it on here, but it is what it is. Nothing happened, but if anything had to happen, I wouldn't have said anything about it. Yeah, Armed Archangel, like, shit. I don't know what you did on the 6th, Armed. I was just saying, if you were to do something, I remember you were there. I mean, here, watching me, is all I'm saying. Anyway. I think we got followed by a helicopter when we left. Yeah, we were super paranoid. Joe Biden threatens to take away benefits after disastrous job reports. After denying on Monday that increased federal sniffle relief was a contributing factor to a nationwide labor shortage, President Joe Biden warned that Americans who turn down a suitable job could lose their benefits. A devastating Friday jobs report found that only 266,000 jobs were created in the past few months, and that unemployment rate rose from 6% to 6.1%. Biden insisted that the shocking numbers were not his administration's fault and claimed that the sniffle relief package the Democratic Party pushed through Congress had no effect on the numbers. You know, we had 4 years of Trump where the jobless rate was way, way down. And now, as soon as you take office, it goes up. And that's Trump's fault somehow? Oh, I'm looking at this. I'm loving this. Let's be clear. Our economic plan is working, Biden said on Monday. I had never said, and no serious analyst ever suggested that climbing out of a deep, deep hole that our economy was in would be simple, easy, immediate, or perfectly studied. Trump did it pretty quick. We don't see much evidence of people being paid to stay home rather than to go to work, Biden continued. It is easy to say the lines have been because of the generous unemployment benefits that is a major factor in labor shortages. Americans want to work, Biden said. I think the people who claim Americans won't work, even if they find a good job and fair opportunity, underestimate the American people. Do you agree with that? I think if you pay people not to work, they're not going to go work. If I can make as much money not working as I can working, or close, just close, let's say I make $1,000 a week working, and I make $800 a week not working. Shit, $700 a week not working. Right? Guess what I'm not going to do? I ain't going to work. I'll do something else. I'll invest that money into my own job, maybe. You know, maybe illicit. But during the same speech, Biden connected unemployment to federal benefits, telling unemployed Americans that they need to accept suitable jobs instead of relying on the sniffle relief. Anyone collecting unemployment who is offered a suitable job must take the job or lose their unemployment benefits, he added. Several states have already taken action to cut federal unemployment benefits in order to boost employment numbers. South Carolina and Montana announced earlier this month that federal benefits would end for residents in their state, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said all unemployment benefits applicants must prove they have submitted job applications. Yeah, it was like, I think the last time I had that, it was 2 jobs a week you had to apply for, something to that effect. It should have always been that way. No unemployment if you don't actually seek work. Yeah. Not a fan of handouts without people trying to do better. I also don't like it that if you're a single person with no kids, you get like $10 of food stamps. That doesn't really do much for you. At least back in the day, it was $10. I don't know what it is now. It's not a lot. If you're a couple, you don't get much more. You get maybe double that. But if you have a kid, it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars more. And then there's a level, right? You can only earn so much. I don't know how much it is. Let's just put a number on it, just theoretical. I really don't know what the number is. Let's say $2,000 a month. If you make more than $2,000 a month, you get no food stamps. But if you make just under $2,000 a month, you're going to get $400 a week in food stamps. It'd be $400 a month in food stamps. $400 a month on food stamps for under $2,000 a month income. If you get a raise and now you're making $2,015 a month, now your $400 food stamp, you'll still make it. Your $400 food stamps goes down to like $20-$30. There needs to be a little bit more of a slope to that, right? Let's go ahead and make it, $400 a month, and all these numbers are arbitrary because I have no idea what the going rate is anymore. Let's say you make $2,000 a month and you get $400 for food stamps. If you make $3,000 a month, maybe you should get $200 a month on food stamps, right? It shouldn't be such a harsh cutoff. It really does make people stay on food stamps because of that. It also promotes people leaving the household, right? So if the father leaves, the mother with the kid gets more money on food stamps. Surprising. Yeah, I saw that bracket is really absurd. What if you act like a child? Does that count? No, I don't think so. As of the 22nd, in this state, to keep the unemployment, you must do the job search to keep. And every state I've ever been unemployed in, you had to do a job search and you had to have 2 applications in every month or week. I'm not exact. I think it was week. I think you had to apply for 2 jobs per week. And you had to give them documentation on that. The FBI identifies pipeline cyber attack culprits. Service may be back up by the weekend. I didn't really know much about this. I did hear about it, but I did not read any stories about it. What a loophole, yeah. Hit by a cyber attack, the operator of a major U.S. fuel pipeline said it hopes to have services mostly restored by the end of this week as the FBI and administration officials identified the culprits as a gang of criminal hackers. They're a gang of hackers. The nerd hackers. Oh my goodness. I want to see him tagging. I wonder if this has anything to do with the gas shortage, but maybe. I'll bring that over here. U.S. officials sought to soothe concerns about price spikes or damage to the economy by stressing that the fuel supply had so far not experienced widespread disruptions, and the company said Monday that it was working towards substantially restoring operational services by the weekend. The White House said in a statement late Monday that it was monitoring supply shortages in parts of the Southeast and that President Joe Biden had directed federal agencies to bring their resources to bear. Colonial Pipeline, which delivers about 45% of the fuel consumed on the East Coast, halted operations last week after revealing a ransomware attack that it said had affected some of its systems. Nonetheless, the attack underscored the vulnerabilities of the nation's energy sector and other critical industries whose infrastructure is largely privately owned. Well, if you ever watched Doomsday Preppers, you would have known this was an issue a long time ago, because I'm sure there was quite a few people like, I'm preparing for a cyber attack. And aliens invading from the United. Ransomware attacks are typically carried out by criminal hackers who scramble data, paralyzing victim networks and demanding large payments to decrypt it. The Colonial attack was a poignant reminder of the real-world implications of burrowing threat. Even as the Biden administration works to confront organized hacking campaigns sponsored by foreign governments, obviously, it must still contend with the difficult-to-prevent attacks from cyber criminals. We need to invest in the safeguards of our crucial infrastructure, Biden said on Monday. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm said the attack tells you how utterly vulnerable we are to cyber attacks on U.S. infrastructure. Well, if you're a hacker and you want to do some damage, Jennifer says now's the time. Now that they are opening back up, the job search starting back up, yeah, probably. Here you go. We are going. You're going to this? Why does everybody... Y'all need to stop. All right, I'll allow ads once. Get your degree in cannabis in Canada. I ain't going to Canada. Their money's weird. It's not backed by anything there either, though, so I suppose it's fine. All right. I'm going to just read over these stories since we're over time a little bit. A growing number of gas stations along the East Coast are without fuel, and this is also the East Coast, so it must... I wonder if it is connected. As nervous drivers aggressively fill up their tanks following the ransomware attack that shut down the Colonial Pipeline. Yep, okay. The panic buying threatens to exacerbate the supply stock. As of 4 p.m. Eastern Tuesday, 8.5% of gas stations in North Carolina and 7.7% in Virginia did not have gasoline, according to outage figures reported by Gas Buddy. Oh yeah, Gas Buddy, that's an app. It helps you find the cheapest gas in your area. If you didn't know about Gas Buddy, there you go. An app that tracks the fuel prices and demand. The Virginia figure was flat from 11 a.m. Eastern, while North Carolina was up from 5.8% previously. Rising outages are also being reported at gas stations in Georgia by 0.8%, Florida 2.8%, and South Carolina 3.5%. Well, Georgia apparently is the worst. And didn't you say Atlanta? I think he did. I think he said Atlanta. 5.8%. Panic buying is running stations in the region dry. Patrick Dahan, head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy, told CNN Businesses. Oh yeah, this is CNN. He warned that the irrational behavior could prolong supply issues for weeks. Tiffany Wright of AAA Carolinas criticized what she described as irresponsible behavior at the pump. Y'all need to calm down, okay? Stop being preppers. This is the same thing with people with buying the toilet paper. Nobody wants to be a prepper. Everybody likes to laugh at the prepper. Everybody likes to laugh at the prepper. Until shit goes down and then they start panic buying because guess who didn't fucking prep? That guy. And guess who laughs at them? The guy who's sitting in his bunker with walls of toilet paper surrounding him. He done made himself a fort out of all the rolls of toilet paper he got, including a fucking throne out of toilet paper, sitting on it proudly like, fuck you all, I got my toilet paper a long time ago. People are taking their entire family fleet of vehicles to the gas station and filling up when they don't need to, Wright told CNN. We are our own worst enemy in this situation because we are over-consuming at the pump. Climate change and all that shit. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm, I fucking hate that name, pleaded with Americans not to hoard gas as the pipeline attempts to resume operations. Let me emphasize that much as there was no cause for, say, hoarding toilet paper at the beginning of the pandemic, there should be no more cause for hoarding gasoline, Granholm said during Tuesday's White House press briefing, especially in the light of the fact that the pipeline should be substantially operational by the end of this week. Demand for the information on gasoline availability is so intense that Gas Buddy itself experienced outages. Dahan told CNN the platform is experiencing slowdowns because of the extreme traffic, so users may experience periodic timeouts on its website and app. Wow. Gas prices are going back up to $3 a gallon. That's always fun. Funny how we had the same problem during Biden. I put $50 in the Excursion today, got half a tank. I put about six. Well, that's, yeah. I had a Suburban a long time ago, and it was the first time, and this was like gas was $3.50 a gallon, I think. It was the first time I had ever experienced in a civilian vehicle, because it never happened when I was driving truck. The gas pump shut off at $100. I never had that happen before. I got to $100 and said, nope, if you want to continue, you have to do it as a whole new transaction. $100 is the limit. I'm like, but my tank's not even full yet. But yeah, if I was living out there, I'd probably be doing the same thing. But here is the better situation. Instead of worrying about, do I have enough gas? Because we all know that when this system goes down, if the grid ever gets shut down, you're not going to get gas. So how are you going to get around? You can't hoard that much gas, not unless you have big storage containers. And who's going to do that? My suggestion to you would be looking at other ways of getting around without gasoline. Yes, you can siphon, but that's not a nice thing to do. So what other ways? There's wood gas. There is biofuel. If you want to actually prep and not just be one of these panic buyers and not just fill up your Suburban with, as much gas as you can and then siphon it to another vehicle. If you actually want to be, in front of it, look into some of these alternative ways. All right. Florida clears officials in treatment of Jeffrey Epstein. Florida detectives have cleared Palm Beach County prosecutors and sheriff officials of criminal wrongdoing in a connection with their handling of wealthy and prominent sex offender Jeffrey Epstein more than a decade ago. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement said in its reports that it found no evidence that the Epstein received any special treatment due to bribery or influence by any member of the Palm Beach County Sheriff or State Attorney Office between 2005, when the investigation launched, and 2009, when he was released from jail. Right. Both the state attorney's office and the sheriff have been criticized by Epstein's victims and their advocates for the plea and sentencing deal he received for his participation in a work release program that allowed him to travel to his home office most days for up to 16 hours, where he possibly engaged in the sexual abuse of underage girls. Governor DeSantis had ordered the investigation in 2019 in August, just days before Epstein killed himself in a federal jail in New York City. State investigators concluded that both agencies followed the laws and rules that were then in place in their handling of Epstein. When he died, he had recently been charged federally with sex trafficking dating back almost 20 years and was facing life in prison. He was known for his wealth and his connections, including former President Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. That's right. Don't even fucking pretend Donald Trump don't have some sort of shady shit when it comes to Epstein. Or if you do, I'd love to see the proof. And Prince Andrew of Great Britain. None of them have been charged in connection with his crimes. Yeah, funny how that works, isn't it? Funny how he just killed himself. In 3 separate reports that were completed in March, Florida investigators wrote they found no evidence that any sheriff's deputy, former state attorney Bar Krishner, or any of the prosecutors were coerced, bribed, or engaged in any criminal activity in the performance of their duties. Sheriff Rick Bradshaw, who assumed office in 2005, issued a statement Monday saying he had asked for the investigation and welcomed its findings. He declined further comments, saying that an internal investigation into possible violations of agency regulations is ongoing. Krishner, who served from 1993 to 2007, did not respond to phone call, yada, yada, yada. All right, cool. No, nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see. Absolutely everybody is innocent. Okay? There's no wrongdoing whatsoever. Everything was letter of the law. Army of fake fans boast China's messaging on Twitter. We're going to get to that in a minute. Armed Archangel wants me to watch something. I will put that on the list. My grandpa had a little diesel Toyota truck. It was awesome. I have over 100 gallons of gas stored. Nice. My family up in Idaho used to have big tanks but they lived out in the boonies in Idaho. Like, you couldn't just go to the gas station. All right, they're ranchers, and they have a lot of equipment that they have to fill up with fuel. So they had these big tanks. So they never really had to go to the gas station. The trucks would come to them. HDP and I had $50, so I put that in always, but I do fill the tank whenever I have enough to fill it. But I have a 44-gallon tank, and I'm getting 10.4 miles per gallon. Epstein, wherever he is, he knows he's the one the world hated. He's one the world hated man. Here's the thing. Yeah, we know about Epstein. Just think of all the people we don't know about. Epstein probably not even near the worst of the people living right now. I would imagine, and this is just a guess on my part, I would imagine the worst human, we probably don't even know about them. We probably don't even know they exist, because that's how you do shit and get away with it, is you don't fucking advertise. Epstein, I bought those 14-gallon red totes from Northern Tool and have them filled. Of the world's most hated men. Sorry, I'm playing. No, you're fine. What are you playing? What are you playing, Quantum? I want to know. What kind of game you into? You're playing a game right now. China's ruling Communist Party has opened a new front in its long, ambiguous war to shape global public opinion, Western social media. This person, who recently stepped down as China's ambassador to the United Kingdom, is one of the party's most successful foot soldiers on this evolving online battlefield. He joined Twitter in October 2019 as scores of Chinese diplomats surged onto Twitter and Facebook, which are both banned in China. Funny how they're getting on board with Twitter and Facebook, but they don't even allow it in their own country. Since then, Liu has definitely elevated his public profile, gaining a following more than 119,000 as he transformed himself into an exemplar of China's new sharp-edged wolf warrior. Diplomacy, a term borrowed from the title of a top-grossing Chinese action movie. As I see it, there are so-called wolf warriors because there are wolves in the world and you need warriors to fight them. Liu, who is now China's special representative on Korean Peninsula affairs, tweeted in February. He streams of posts principled in gutsy done with this Western anti-Chinese bias to his fans. Yeah, it's a PR campaign for the American people. They're trying to get you to be okay with China. It's kind of interesting. Let's just put it that way. Really far over my time. The FBI seized heirloom coins and cash from hundreds of safe deposit boxes in Beverly Hills, despite knowing some belonged to honest citizens. I ain't even going to read it. But if you have anybody in, California? Beverly Hills? Yeah, if you know anybody in Beverly Hills, man, hook a brother up, first of all. Second of all, if you do, just let them know they might be missing some shit. because, you know, people like to do that. All right. This is something that Quantum Lotus is going to. Get your degree in cannabis in Canada. Canada college students will have an opportunity next year to study the fine art of cannabis cultivation. According to Reuters, a college in New Brunswick intends to prepare students interested in taking a career on the cannabis trade by launching a program that will teach them the ins and outs of growing marijuana. The course, which is still being designed, will make available through the French language college communitary. Yeah, I can't pronounce it. If they're speaking French, I ain't going to that. My school, for everything I've ever learned how to, well, not everything I've ever learned how to do, but for the last 14 years has been on YouTube. This is not a mainstream program. Executive Director of Continuing Education and Customs Learning. We are looking at training qualified employees to meet the needs of an industry versus training students at large. So they're not trying to teach you how to grow your own. They actually want you to be in a business for it. There's that. A V10? Hold up. The big V10 likes its gas. I could imagine so. I don't even think my Suburban was a V10. It was a V8. It just had a huge gas tank. Star Wars? Yeah. Yeah. Remember the Chinese Star Wars where the black guy got shrunk way down? A lot of power. Star Wars and the Old Republic, their PvP is awareness or awesomeness. Security Unlimited. Problem is that everybody in that class will be too big to pass any exams. I think that's passionate. I think, you know, I'm gonna be growing my own, most likely. And shit, if I can get away with putting online how-tos on YouTube, I'm sure there are already people doing it. But if I can do it, I'll do it my way. You know what I mean? All right. And lastly, you wanted me to check out this video. It's 2 minutes and 10 seconds, so we'll watch the whole damn thing. What is this? Oh, nice. What's that running on?
Idle like this, since I have such a big engine, it doesn't want to idle right. That's why you always kind of want to give it gas. But right now, it's running on the fumes. And I look, watch this. This is how you know it's running off. Took the air right out of it. My fuel pump's off. I disconnected it.
That's something to get into. Learn how to make your own moonshine. You can drive cars off of that.
3/4. At first, I had them in an inch, and they were.
I didn't even think about that.
So I had them in about.
I mean, I can't drive very far with that much shine, but
no. See, these tubes in back are the tubes that go all the way to the bottom of the gas, and that puts the air in. These tubes go in just enough to where the gas is below here, and if it does suck it in, you got this loop in it, and it sits in that loop, and then it vaporizes that gas. But if you're sitting at an idle and if you gas it real hard, you'll suck it in. That's why if you notice while you're driving, you're really not gassing it. As you're moving, you're slowly just giving it a little bit of gas, which is just vapor sending to it.
So you don't want these any shorter to maybe get the vapors there?
No, this is about perfect length. You want a little loop in it. You want it up a little high, so that way it's not sucking too much gas. It'll fall right back in. And
also allowing the liquid to collect, I guess.
Down. If I make another one, I need thicker. This is too thin.
Right.
And it's pinching.
Getting a little hot, maybe.
Well, it's pinching, and if it pinches at all, it'll kill the engine.
Does it ride still the same?
Except for like when you come to a stop.
2004 Ford F-150 running off of gasoline vapors. 100 miles to the gallon?
I don't care. It drives the same.
Yeah.
Okay, that is cool. I'm gonna favor that one. Thank you very much. I have a 2007 Ford. If I can get 100 miles a gallon, hell yeah! Oh my goodness, I like that. All right. Problem is that everyone already read that. And if it gets you baked, it's good. Yeah, exactly. If it gets you stoned, you did good. You get a grade. That's why it has a 44-gallon tank. Oh, hells yeah. It's running off the fumes. That's crazy. 100 miles a gallon. I'm curious. I'm going to look into that. The description says 2000 Ford F-150 running off of vapors, 100 miles to the gallon. This can be very dangerous. Do not try this at home. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I have lit a car engine on fire before. It's been a while, though. It's been a long time. So maybe I'm better at it now. For more information to see other awesomeness, tech gear, and gadgets, the jreshow.com. And he's got all this thing. Disclaimer, this show receives free products to create these videos for companies, startup, yada, yada, yada. This is how we're going to get around the zombie apocalypse, says a commenter. Thank you for this video. Perhaps you should set your red tank below the gas intake. Hence, the gas in the hose could flow down to the tank. I'm not sure my English is good, but was it understandable? All right, cool. So that's a thing. The Excursion is like a Ford 250. Has 8-hole wheels. Nice. I have a Ford F-150. Sorry about the mic bump. But that's all I'm going to have for you today. Thank you very much for everybody who joined me on DLive and everybody here on YouTube as well. Everybody who's on my Discord. If you want to be part of the cool club, join the Discord because that's where it's happening. That's where you get all the alerts to when I go on live, when I post a new video. We can share memes, recipes. That's where I want to talk about the marijuana growing, all sorts of stuff. If I do hangouts where I have multiple people on a show, I'm not using StreamYard anymore. I'll be using Discord. So it is a really good platform to follow me on if you're willing to sign up for a brand new thing. But before you go, if you're on YouTube, make sure to check out the descriptions down below. We got all the links down there you could ever want from me on my channel. We have all the places that you can follow me. We have causes I believe in and support with my own money, including the GOA, ProjectRecover.org, and my personal favorite, Rally Point Irish. I donate half of all my proceeds to Rally Point Irish because he is trying to set up a location in Tennessee where vets can come and stay room and board free while learning a new skill like farming, blacksmithing, and gunsmithing. That dude is my brother. And I really do hope that he sees that dream someday. I want to see that for him. So I donate half of all the proceeds. I don't donate nearly as much as I used to when we first started the evening catch-up, only because we are now fully demonetized. So if you want to help out this channel with your money, you're more than welcome to do that. It's not required. It's not even asked about. But if you want to, there are ways to do that down below. Just know half of it's going to Irish USMC vets for the Rally Point Irish. If you want to donate directly to his cause, I'm okay with that too, because I believe in his cause a lot. And any gratuity is welcomed but not expected. Other than that, if you want to support my channel without spending a dime, you can like, comment, subscribe, and the biggest one is sharing this content. Obviously, we're going to be changing up our content, but we're still going to be producing content, so don't worry about that. Let's see, all the places you can follow me, I already said that. And yeah, that's pretty good.
Armed Archangel wants dancing girls.
You got it. Armed Archangel, you get the dancing girls. Are you opening a box here on DLive? I already did. You missed it. I will do it again tomorrow. So make sure you are watching on DLive again tomorrow, Mr. Tommy Boy 9, and I will definitely open up another one. I think it was for 50, and I believe Quantum Lotus won that. So we will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, and before you all leave, next Friday, not this Friday, but the Friday after, the 21st, will be the last evening catch-up ever. It'll be our 1-year anniversary of the evening catch-up. Let me just put it that way. It's the 1-year anniversary of the evening catch-up on the 21st. I'm going to be doing something for it. I hope to see you all there. I hope to have a giveaway, but I'm not going to promise anything because, first of all, I don't want to have a whole bunch of people coming that never were here. So I want somebody who's been here multiple times, not necessarily all year, but somebody who's been here multiple times to win anything that I give away. But I'm looking forward to it. Let's just put it that way. I'm looking forward to it. I will see you guys again tomorrow night. Remember, right up there is the times that they're happening. I can't talk. I got to get off of here. When the words start not making sense to me, I got to get off. I got to stop talking. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, make sure to keep that family close. Watch out for that government. Try to live as free as you can in the tyrannical world we find ourselves living in today, and do something that's free. Be free. Peace.